This planet, this world is all about, it's all about learning. It's all about change and transformation. Hey guys, I'm Jonathan White. I'm here to help you master your sexual energy so that you can magnetize your ideal life. So I want to talk about grounded spirituality and avoiding extremes. So there's a very common pattern that people have in this world, which is really going in extremes in one direction. Most people in this world are very in the extreme of being overly involved in the physical realm, right? In their kind of worldly life. And then there's also people who are in the extreme of being completely involved in their, their spiritual growth while kind of neglecting their worldly experience here on earth, right? So I want to talk a bit about the Taoist philosophy on this. I've explored a lot of different spiritual paths in my life, but I really resonate with the Taoist philosophy because it's very grounded, it's very practical, and it's very body-centered. It's very grounded. And the Taoists talk about cultivating your Ming and your Xing equally. The Ming is your worldly destiny, and the Xing is your spiritual destiny. It's about connecting back to source. And the Taoists say that you should always cultivate these things in balance with each other. So as you're developing yourself spiritually, you should also be developing your worldly destiny, meaning, whatever it is your mission is here on earth. No one can tell you what it is. It's not like you're born and you're supposed to do one thing. You are constantly evolving that. You are constantly evolving your own personal destiny, based on what you feel you were here to do. What excites you? What are your passions? What are your gifts and your strengths? What are you developing within yourself? And that starts to become your worldly destiny. It's not necessarily predetermined for you. So again, most people are often exclusively focusing on only one of these things, right? For example, someone who's completely focused on cultivating their Ming, their worldly destiny, they're completely focused on financial success and, finding an attractive partner, buying a house, buying a nice car. So all these kind of material things right here in the physical realm. The thing is that what do these things really matter at the moment of death? You're lying in bed, you're about to die. You can't take any of this stuff with you. So it all just kind of dissolves at that point. So it's very superficial. It's very short-lived, it's very transient. It's here for now, but it's not always going to be here. So we see a lot of people who, they've amassed large amounts of money, they have the nice house, the nice car, the beautiful wife, but they're actually very unhappy. They're still unfulfilled because, again, these things are quite superficial in the long run. And then we could look at the other extreme, people who are only focused on their Xing, their spiritual destiny, right? So maybe someone who, quits their job and they travel to study at an ashram, live in a monastery, whatever, you know what I mean? And they just kind of leave behind their worldly life and just become a monk. They live like a monk and become completely 100% involved in cultivating their spiritual destiny. And so these people are 100% often focused on getting back to source, getting out of this physical reality experience and getting back to the heavenly realms, getting back to source, right? We see this in a lot of religions where it's like, you need to get out of your body, you need to get to heaven as soon as possible because it's hell down here, right? And the trouble with this is like, well, what's the point of coming down here into the first place? What was the point of incarnating into a body and having an experience here in the physical realm if you're only focused on getting back out of it? You might as well have just stayed in the formless realms before you incarnated, right? So it doesn't make a lot of sense. We came here with a purpose. We came here with a mission. So that's why I feel it's very important to cultivate these things in balance, meaning that you're cultivating your spiritual destiny, you're connecting back to source, you're attaining higher consciousness and these things that you can actually take with you beyond the gate of death, right? But at the same time, you're cultivating your worldly destiny. You're making a difference here. You're causing transformation in the world. You're learning, you're experiencing life. That's the thing is like this planet, this world is all about learning. It's all about change and transformation. Yes, there's suffering. Yes, there's chaos and wars and things like that. But these are forces that provoke change and transformation. Think of a time in your life where you experienced pain, you experienced suffering, but it drove you to do something because of it. It drove you to look at what was causing that pain. Oh, okay, I'm having this pain in my life. What can I do to overcome this pain? Me personally, I went through a very difficult breakup. It was very heartbreaking. I was deeply hurt by it. My trust had been broken and things like this. I was in a very dark place. But this is what led me to seek out yoga, meditation, these energetic internal practices, because I was like, wow, I'm really hurt and I don't want to be in this situation again. I saw that I had become so dependent on this external relationship, and that was taken away, and now I had nothing left. And it's like, okay, I don't want to allow this to happen to myself again. How can I take control of my internal balance and create the center within myself so I don't rely on external things? So this pain in my life became a blessing. It became an opportunity for me to grow and to put myself into a position where I never had to experience that again. And I know it can be difficult when you're in the middle of chaos to see that, but again, this is what's happening on the planet. All the chaos, all the wars, all the suffering, as terrible as they are when they're happening, it is, again, it leads to this deeper awareness of like, wow, this is painful, this is ugly, this is bad. How can we make sure that this never happens again? And hopefully you learn that lesson from it, right? Because if we don't learn from it, we start repeating it over and over again. So I think this is really what part of the experience here in the physical realm is about, is how do we develop ourselves, how do we transform ourselves to create a world of higher harmony? Not to mention, it's fun being down here. It's fun being in a body, you experience bliss, you experience, we can experience sex and orgasm. You can't experience a lot of these things when you're just formless, in the heavenly realms, right? Heaven and earth are in this relationship together. Energy is coming down into matter. It's creating the physical realm. So this relationship between heaven and earth, right? It's going back and forth. It's not a one-way trip. Again, there's a lot of religions that are completely focused on you have to get out of your body, shoot out of your crown and get into the higher realms, get out of this hell realm. But, the Taoists say that this is a heaven. They call it later heaven, the manifest world, because it has the opportunity to be a very pleasurable, a very beautiful place with lots of transformation and lots of learning and growing. But the thing is that it's easy to get stuck down here in kind of the mundane, right? Which is why spiritual cultivation is important. So again, in my experience, the highest path with the highest potential and the most fulfillment is equally cultivating your spiritual path and your worldly destiny. So an example of this is you have a meditation practice, you have your spiritual practice, you're cultivating your internal energy, you're going within yourself, you're connecting with higher consciousness, and at the same time, you're developing yourself here in the world. You're doing your work, whatever that is, what excites you, what motivates you, what gifts do you have, how can you share them with the world to make a difference, right? And it's doing these together that brings the greatest completion and the greatest fulfillment in your life, and you complete your mission that you came into this planet, into this body to do. And this is really about becoming your own master. We see a lot of people giving away their power to priests or to gurus, saying like, oh, they have everything and I'm just this humble servant. We often project outside of ourselves. So it's really about opening your own connection to the universe, opening your own connection to higher consciousness. That's when you start to get the answers that you seek. You start to awaken your intuition, your connection with your higher self. And that's when you really start to download your own mission, your own fulfillment, and when you really start to become a master in this realm. And this is a very important time to be doing this cultivation, cultivating yourself both worldly and in the spiritual realms, because things are changing. We're going through a major transformation, and we see this by all the chaos that's emerging, which really is just the frequency of the planet is raising, the energy is increasing, and it's bringing all these shadows out into the light to be dealt with. We have to process these things before we can transform into a higher paradigm of harmony and balance. Again, there's a lot of prophecy around this. In the New Age scene, there's the idea of ascension, where we're ascending into a new dimension of experience. We're becoming multi-dimensional. This is in many ancient scriptures, and the Taoists talk about new heaven, new earth, where we're birthing a new earth, a new realm of earth. And that because there's been so much corruption, the dark side has been in control of this planet for quite a long time, and it's time to emerge into a new timeline in harmony and balance to rid all this darkness of the past. But not everyone's going in the same direction, you know what I mean? Because your beliefs shape your reality, your focus shapes your reality, and there's kind of two timelines that people are going to go in at this time. Because again, there's literally this new earth, kind of this new astral earth being created. The construct's there, this paradise dimension is there, but it's your focal point and your cultivation that's going to depend which direction you go in. People who are completely focused on fear, focused on conflict and chaos, are going to live out that story in their lives, you know what I mean? So where you're vibrating at is going to determine kind of, what reality unfolds for you at this time. This is kind of the idea, is that if you're stuck in these low vibrational states of fear, and again, this is kind of the dark side agenda. There's so much control in our media, the information that's being placed on us to literally put us in this low vibrational state of fear, so that we get stuck in this old pattern of conflict and war, and we get stuck in this kind of old earth system, right? The 3D earth. But if we can raise our frequency by shifting our awareness into love, into harmony, into excitement. Stop focusing on all the darkness and start to focus on the light. What do you want to create in this world? What is your greatest joy? What is your greatest excitement? You start to focus on that and put your actions and your words towards that, and you will start to align yourself with this new frequency of Earth, 5D Earth, right? New heaven, new earth. And we are literally going to see a major paradigm shift in this time. So again, it's a very, very exciting time, but this is the most important time to be cultivating, again, both your spiritual destiny, doing your internal cultivation, doing your meditation, connecting to source, connecting to your higher selves, and doing your worldly work as well. We need to make money, right? So we can have a place to live, so that we have a stable place to do our spiritual practice, and also to make an impact on the world. Spread your truth with the world, spread your gifts, hold the light, anchor it, and share it with those around you, right? And we're going to see amazing things happen at this time. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you've enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment below. How are you cultivating both your worldly destiny and your spiritual destiny? Have a great day, my friends.